Welcome, everybody. It is a wonderful Wednesday out here. I'm your host, Leanne Dose, and this is Wake Up Happy Sis on KCCR, the Brownstone, where we are changing the narrative for our Black and Brown people by telling our stories our way. So, as we go through Women's History Month, I have another one of my fabulous friends that I have here that I'm just going to talk to her. You're going to get to learn a little bit about her, what she does, and what makes her so awesome. So, this is Tamika Lang. She is a coach, a motivational speaker, influencer, and the author of Live 5 Steps to Being More Free Spirited. Her life has been lived as an example of how to overcome and live life authentically. I love that. She has inspired hundreds with her free spirit approach to life and used the inspiration to others to champion her life's mission, if I can speak right, to be a light that others can look to for hope. So, welcome to the show, Tamika. How are you today?
Hey, I am great today. Cold, but great. How are you?
Look, it is a little bit chilly.
A little bit.
Atlanta's a little chilly right now, just uh, until we get to season two. It,
Absolutely.
we
Hopefully.
get a couple of seasons over here in one day over here. So let's jump right into the question. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to where you are today with this Live First movement, with your free spirited lifestyle, and as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. My name is Tamika. I am originally from Lexington, Kentucky. Shout out to Kentucky because they don't get enough shout outs. And I started the Live First movement kind of by accident, right? So that's kind of how some of the best ideas happen. Around my 41st birthday, I decided that I was going to do 41 new things that year
Nice.
because I wanted to think outside the box. I wanted some new life experiences. I wanted to shake my life up. Some of the things were really, really big. Some of the things were small, like trying a new food. Some of them were really small, but they were all new to me and they were monumental experiences that I don't think people celebrate enough, right? So I charted this, I kept my list, and every time I did something, I tagged it 41 first. Well, then the pandemic happened and my plan to continue with these first was thwarted by the pandemic, and life was just happening so fast around all of us.
Mhm.
Both of my parents were, really suffering hard with COVID. I lost my father, and people were just in a bad place, right? And I have dealt with depression and anxiety for over 30 years, everything from medication to hospitalization, etc. And around about my 29th birthday, I just decided I did not want to be on that cycle anymore. I wanted to just take control and not to discredit any clinical issues that anyone may have, and not to discredit any doctors or anything like that, because I am an advocate of mental health. I'm an advocate of doing whatever it takes to make sure that you have peace in your life. And but you have to be the first one to make the move, right? So
Mhm.
that's how the combination of all these things birthed the Live First movement. It is a movement to inspire people to find their purpose, to live within their purpose, because doing so is the key to achieving true joy, peace, and success in life. And that's just what I want everybody to do. I want to free everybody up from these constraints and these hassles, being overwhelmed, feeling anxious, feeling depressed, all those things that just make our lives so mundane and terrible. I think that we can all live above it. And I want to help people do that.
And what I love is that you took charge of your situation and you were proactive, right? And I think a lot of times, sometimes we get into feeling helpless,
Yeah.
right? And because of the things that we've been through in our lives and the traumas that we've suffered through and lived through and survived through, sometimes we're so scared to take that jump. But it's so important just to take that first step. And I think having those 41 things that you want to do, new experiences, to me, that is so awesome. That is so revolutionary, especially when you're looking at, I'm going to do big things
Mm-hmm.
in my life and I'm going to do them scared.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, that was when we were in Tulum and I went zip lining, and I'm scared of heights. I'm deathly afraid of heights. And them three, I won't do it again. But
But you did it.
I can say that it's something that I did and I made it through and I overcame that obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some challenges I think that you would say that you've had to overcome, and how have you used your kind of live free movement within yourself to overcome them?
One of the things that is the biggest challenge, and I think this is universal, is limiting beliefs. Not being able to actually think you can do something because either someone else told you couldn't do it, you've never seen anyone else do it, or you just feel like there's something inside you that is preventing you or not making you capable of doing something. I had to get over those limiting beliefs, right? I had to own the fact that every inch of space that I'm meant to take up on this planet is mine to take up. And I have a purpose. And if I am not taking up that space, I am only deterring myself. I'm only preventing myself from achieving happiness. And I'm also hindering somebody else's journey because somebody else needs to see that so they can get over their limiting beliefs. And it's just a huge cycle of progression and assistance and like contribution to this village. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Other items I had to get over were my health. I think our health is directly related to our mental health, the things we put into our body. I'm from the South and I want to eat fried everything. I want sugar. I want to cook my vegetables until they are limp and destroyed because they taste better that way, and I had to get over, these traditional thoughts and had to get over the diet that I wanted. I had to try to make adjustments and, reteach myself because we don't fault our parents, for what they taught us. They did the best that they could, but every generation should do better. We all have the opportunity to learn more. We have access to so many other things. So getting over, first of all, the limiting beliefs, then the health and reprogramming myself truly enabled me to embrace the fact that every single thing in life you have a choice, right?
Yes.
You have a choice, and even if you are directly affected by your environment, you still have the choice for how you respond, right? And I just decided I'm gonna respond positively because I want a positive outcome.
And that's kind of the reason why I started Wake Up Happy Sis,
Mhm.
because I want, at the end of the day, I think most of us, we just want to wake up happy, right?
Yeah,
We just want to do the things in our lives that make us happy, that bring us joy, that bring us peace, that motivate us to be the best version of ourselves. And I think that your Live First movement is going to do that for so many people, because so many people just have so many blockers when they think about being a free spirited person and being able to live your life authentically and unapologetically.
absolutely.
So let's turn a little bit to kind of self-care, and what is self-care to you, right? And what does it mean to you personally?
So can we be like super duper honest? Like
Oh,
I'm not raw
we
honest.
get
Okay.
real and raw here. We get real.
Okay, cool. Real and raw, because that's what I like. So, self care for me is, I take trips as often as I possibly can, as often as my bank account allows. I want to be somewhere outside of the four walls. I work from home, so it's important for me to get outside. When the weather permits, I get 20 minutes of sunshine daily, whether that's taking a walk, whether that's sitting outside of my patio. That sunshine just refuels me. I need it. It's simple. It's something simple and free that I can do. I keep Tito's on chill.
Hey.
Tito's is self care. I got a drawer full of electronic friends that help me to release some tension when
Mhm.
there aren't other humans around to assist. I do make sure that I do get human contact, whether that's hugs from my family, hanging out with my best friend. I do regular video calls with people that I'm connected to and that hold me accountable and that I can just sit and breathe with. It's really, really important to have your village. I'm an advocate of the village. I don't know when, or sidebar, I don't know when at what point in our lives we determine we don't need the village anymore. If you say it takes a village to raise a child, when those children become adults, you don't just abandon them and kick them out the village. We need each other. Um, I have an Amazon package addiction.
I think we all do. That's safe to say a lot of us do.
If I don't have a package at least twice a week, even if it's not for me, like I order stuff for my family, my friends, my grandchildren. If I don't care, I just need that package to arrive on my doorstep. Um, and I'm very like serious about it. Like I do not compromise my needs
Mhm.
because they are what keep me sane. Doing those things keep me sane. I've got to, um, it's just those little things. That's my pretty much my consistent list of self care. I kiss my mama. I'm not too big for that.
Mhm.
Um, just I make sure that I'm available too. Like I don't give in to shutting myself off when the waves of anxiety and depression they still come. Just living your life, choosing to be happy doesn't mean that these things you don't get knocked upside the head sometimes. And sometimes you have to sit in it for 3 or 4 days because they're that heavy. But I really fight to not isolate and to make sure that I still do my normal things because you got to have the normal patterns in order to break the cycles.
And I think it's important that you said that because a lot of times people focus self care. If you ask 20 people what self care is, most times they go to the fun, nice, relaxing,
Mhm.
calm things. But self care is also sitting in that mess
Mhm.
and working through your trauma and healing from it. And that is a scary, painful
Girl,
process sometimes, getting past that and getting through that. And healing that inner child and telling that inner child, I am so sorry.
yes,
You know, and I think, and opening those little boxes, because my philosophy is that we have trauma, we tuck it in a box,
yes.
tuck it in a box. And sometimes those boxes manifest as other personalities,
Oh my God.
right? And
Speak.
sometimes it manifests as walls and barriers that we're putting up
Mhm.
so that okay, nobody hurt me like
Mhm.
that again. And I think it's important that you said that you have to sit in that and experience those feelings, feel the feelings when they come, but then fight like hell to get out of it,
Yes. I
because
had to
that's
teach
the
myself
difference.
to feel. Like I had to really teach myself to cry, that it was okay to cry. I had to give myself permission because somewhere along the line, like I had asked my brother when I was experiencing some depression, I asked him, "Have you ever seen our grandmothers cry?" Like, well, either one of them. Have you ever seen any of our grandmothers cry? He was like, "Why? No." Like now that you're mentioning it, like I've seen my mom cry, when it's a crying moment, but like otherwise, they did it silently, you know what I mean? They did it
Mhm.
alone, and so I felt like I didn't think it was okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you gotta sit in that's self-care, like, because holding it all in is just gonna the damage it does, the cancer that it creates in your soul when you don't allow yourself to feel, it doesn't allow you to wake up happy. How about that?
And I think that's another thing. Like my grandmother, the first time, like I was lucky in my life that I've had my grandmother, my great grandmother, my great great grandmother all alive well into my teens, right? um, the first time, I'd never seen my great grandmother cry ever in life. My grandmother, the only time I saw her cry, well, no, they cried at my big mama's funeral.
Mhm.
And the only other time I saw my grandmother cry was at my great grandmother's funeral. Outside of that, I've never seen them cry. And so I was in that same vein of we have to be tough, we have to be strong
Yeah.
all the time. So, what really allowed you to sort of embrace your more feminine energy
Mhm.
and being able to release kind of that masculine energy of I've got to be strong, I've got to be this, and show the strength in your vulnerability.
When my father died, I felt like I had to be on for everybody, right? And I cried in front of my family. We cried together a little bit, but it was like just during that first week or two when we were trying to figure out the service and figure out all these things. After that, it was like, I'll still be here for y'all if you need me. But I did not want to put the burden of comforting me on my son. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I didn't want to put my brother has a wife and children, and he was caring for my mother. I didn't want to put the burden of caring for me on them. Like, I'm the one that needs to come to town, bearing gifts, cooking, being this ray of sunshine, and then I'll go back home and I'll cry by myself. And my therapist was like, your family loves you, right? They want to be there for you too. And it's okay if all of y'all break down and cry at the same time. You
Right.
might even need to do that, right? So I one morning was really feeling like super heavy. I was going through divorce at the time too. And so I called my son and I just cried on the phone. I just said, I just need to cry. I just needed your voice. I just needed, to feel loved. And he was like, Mama, he was shocked. Like, he did not, because he never expected that. So I made a regular habit. Sorry, I made a regular habit of doing that when I needed to, and the level of intimacy that built with
Mhm.
my child, with my mother, with my brother, it made us all closer at a time that we absolutely needed to be closer. You know what I mean? And it also helped to make me human again. And
Yes.
like this super strong Black woman thing is a myth. It has been perpetuated and pushed upon us. Um, and when someone I had made a post a while ago where somebody was like, women are so emotional. Yes, we are, but you know what? Happy is an emotion, excited is an emotion, sadness is an emotion. All of these are emotions. You're not about to victimize me or vilify me because I'm human. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And we have embraced this culture of I weak when I need to be weak, period. So yeah, it was at a time that we all needed each other. And since then, I just think that's just the message that I incorporate. Be weak when you need to be weak. And do it with the people that love you. Because that's why we have each other.
Yes, and we have to get out of that mindset of I have to cry by myself because I have to be strong for everybody else. That superwoman mentality has to go
Yeah,
because it stops us, like you said, from creating those more intimate connections with people because we have to always be the strong one. No, you don't.
absolutely
You
not.
know, there is strength in your vulnerability. And I think that's the message that I think we need to push more to people is it's okay to cry, especially to our men too.
Yep.
Because if you're a woman raising a young man and you're not showing any emotion,
Hmm.
he's definitely not going to show emotion because he's supposed to be the man of the house,
Hmm.
whatever, you know? And we have to stop passing that down because we are the nurturers. That's
Yeah,
why we're emotional. We are here to nurture, to give love, to support. Um, so let's talk a little bit about because you said one thing is that you do not compromise when it comes to your needs. So
mhm.
how do you prioritize your own needs and your own well-being while also trying to serve others and building up your business?
Absolutely. So I still work full time. I'm a manager at a pretty big startup company, and I have my business, and of course, I have my life, and everything is on a time. Like, I schedule my day, and some days, I break the schedule, but I'm very strict about list. I'm very strict about being organized. Um, but I'm also very strict about closing the laptop and disconnecting because I cannot show up prepared or with a clear mind to be able to process whatever I need to process if I am consistently plugged in, right? I took a social media break for it was supposed to be 90 days. It ended up being well over that. because I just was like, I need to live out in the real world and I need to focus on some stuff. And I knew there were areas that I wasn't going to compromise. I wasn't going to compromise a trip. I wasn't going to compromise, time with my family, but I could compromise them, mindless hours scrolling and strolling through, the 20 million platforms that I have. And it freed up so much of my time to focus. I really am just good about committing to 2 minutes, right? If you can commit to 2 minutes of something every single day, you will change your life. It's just about showing up. Even if I don't do a lick of movement on my yoga mat, I'm on it for 2 minutes daily. It's increased to 15 is my commitment now, but I started with 2 minutes. Reading my business emails, if I can just show up and do it for 2 minutes, it will turn into 30, it will turn into an hour. I make sure that I start out with 2 minutes. Start very small because you will overwhelm yourself if you try to overcommit to so many things at one time. But organization is huge for me, and then showing up and being able to applaud myself. I mentioned this earlier, I celebrate all the things, right? If I can drink my gallon of water 3 days straight on day 4, I am celebrating with something. It might be a new water bottle, you know what I mean? Something small, just to continue to encourage myself. It's very important that you celebrate milestones and that you stay organized.
No, I so agree with that because I love a good celebration,
Yes, ma'am.
right? And I like the part about the consistency. I was listening to this show, and the guy was like, really obese guy goes to the gym every day. He doesn't do anything. He goes there, he stays there for 10 minutes, and then he leaves. And people are like, why is he doing that? Because he's building consistency.
Yep.
He's making it a habit so that as he moves forward and is now able to get on the machines and to do work, his body is programmed. It's time to go to the gym. It's time to go to the gym. And just like you said, start small, but start something.
Yes.
Right? Start something. Get the yoga mat and get on it.
And get on it.
Just lay there.
Yes.
That's an actual yoga position.
It is. The story that you told about the man at the gym, my motivational story was the Navy commander. I don't know his title. I was a YouTube video I saw where he says, this is why you make your bed every day. You make your bed every day because it builds the consistency. And then at the end of the day, if you've had a great day, you have a nice clean bed to come home and get into. If you've had a really bad day, you have a nice clean bed to come home and get into. And it's the first thing you've accomplished in the day. Like your feet hit the floor, make up your bed. So it's like the same mentality, just showing up for yourself, good or bad day. When you come home, that bed is made and waiting for you, right? So yeah, I love it. Consistency is key.
Oh yeah, definitely. So how do you cultivate self-love and acceptance, especially in our society today where they devalue and they marginalize Black women?
So the first, one of the concepts in my book of becoming a more free-spirited person and having a more free-spirited life, I stopped caring about other people's opinions. I'm considerate. So there's a small line between being selfish and being free-spirited. And the line is drawn at consideration. I'm considerate of your opinion. I'm considerate of your needs, but that is not driving my decision to be me, right? The longest and most significant relationship you will ever cultivate on this planet is with yourself. And we are not taught that. We are taught to be so many things for so many other people. Well, if I can't be what I need to be for myself, if I can't honor me first, there's no way you're going to honor me, right? There's no way I can be my best for you or for the people that I'm responsible for or accountable to. So my first order of business is I don't give a fuck about what you think. Period. That's it. So, and I don't have to, right? But I can still be respectful. You don't have to understand a thing to respect it. You don't have to agree with the thing to respect it. I respectfully acknowledge everything, but I am going to honor me in everything first. when I adopted that as a lifestyle, it became so much easier to walk past arguments, right? They didn't got nothing to do with me, you know. Social media arguments, conversations like, do I really want to engage? Do I care enough to engage with this? I don't. Let me keep it moving and I'm good. Whether
Mm-hmm.
it's about me, whether it's about things going on in society. Of course, we need to support things and we need to rally around things, you know what I mean, to propel our agendas. But overall, when it comes to Tamika, I just don't care. I just don't allow it to permeate my surface. I tell people all the time that does not exist in my universe. That's just very simply stated, and stating it often becomes your heart song. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And you don't have to play about it anymore. You don't have to pretend that that's how you feel. You really just are that way. And you move a little bit lighter. Your steps move a little bit lighter when you do that. So that's
Yeah.
my approach.
So let's talk a little bit more about this book,
Okay.
Tamika.
Let me show you. Oh, thank you. I was about to pull it out.
Yes, show put it up there on your hand too,
Yes,
baby. Put it
ma'am.
up
There we
there.
go.
So tell us about this book.
So my book is, as you see, it's very small, right? It was the intent of the book is for you to read through it one time, but to have it available as a reference for the rest of your life, right? It is a journal prompt book. I am a big advocate of journaling, putting pen to paper. So there is space in the book for you to write in it. It is yours to like internalize, right? So there are 5 steps to being more free spirited. And each of the 5 steps are super simple and easy to adapt into your life. I wrote the book. It's so crazy. Um, I officially made the Live First Movement a thing after hanging out with some girlfriends. We were hanging out in jacuzzi and we were talking about something. And they're like, "Sweet, you need to be doing this. You need to be sharing this message." And I was like, "Y'all, I always wanted to, but my ex husband told me I couldn't." And they were like, "Well, you did just call him your ex, right? So now what's your problem?" I
Mm,
literally the next morning woke up and said, "I'm about to write this book and I'm gonna finish it in 2 weeks. And I'm gonna get it out before New Year." So it was officially published December 31st, 2021, so that people could have it for the new year of 2022 for their New Year's resolutions. And it took off. Like I did not expect the response that I got. I had a couple of book signings. I've had a couple of speaking engagements, some podcasts like you invited me out. And it has really, the responses that people have said that it's changed their life, it's encouraged them, it's inspired them. Like I am so humbled by all of that. And I feel like the Live First movement is super successful already just off of, that response. The book is available on Amazon. Just and so people can go head over there. It's available Kindle, Audible, several other Audible platforms, whatever your preferred method of hearing books is, it's available more than likely. And it's also sparked the Live First experience, which is happening later this year. So people can follow along on all my social media. I am doing wellness retreats based on the content of the book. There's a whole curriculum inspired by this, and I'm really super excited to just keep the momentum going.
well, that is awesome. So tell the people how
Yes.
they can get in contact with you and learn more about the retreat and just about the Live First movement.
Thank you. So I'm out there on social media, Facebook, Instagram. You can find me at the Live First Movement on both of those platforms. My website is thelivefirstmovement.com. You can email me at Tamika at the Live First Movement. I'm available to book for speaking. I'm actually speaking in Atlanta next month. Super excited about that. Um, that information will be available on all my social media and my website later this week. And I'm also doing Sunday sessions. So once a month, there's a 1 hour session where I am giving information on how to improve your life. This past Sunday, I went through the 7 steps on how to achieve peace in all areas of your life. The replay will be up later this week. And so people can tune in, join the conversation, join the Live First movement. Joining is free, absolutely. Coaching packages are available. And I just want to continue shining this big old bright light of mine and changing the world, just like you, helping people wake up happy.
Well, thank you. Well, as we round out this episode, is there anything that you want to, any parting words, any motivation, inspiration that you want to leave the audience with?
So my motivation for today will just be to start. Whatever it is that you have been wanting to achieve in your life, take one step towards it today. Whether it's writing down the idea, whether it's saying out loud that you have a goal, whatever it is, take one step, do it today, and then tomorrow take another one.
Yes,
And you'll see how far you get in about a month, in about a year. Just start.
I love that. Well, I want to thank you for coming on, Tamika. And look, y'all, if you haven't checked out the Live First movement, make sure you do. She didn't mention that she's also a mermaid.
A mermacorn.
Mermicorn, and she actually has a mermaid tail and all of that.
Yes.
Totally fabulous. Totally. We'll talk about that on another show because, of course, she's going to come
Okay,
back
sure.
and talk to us about self-care and wellness and all the good things and being a free spirit. So I want to thank y'all for showing up, for hanging out with us today. Make sure you go and check Tamika out at thelivefirstmovement.com. And I just want to thank y'all for coming. Again, this has been Wake Up Happy Sis. I'm your host, Leanne Dulce, and you're listening to KCCR The Brownstone. We're changing the narrative of Black and Brown people by telling our stories our way. Y'all have a blessed and awesome day.
Yay. Thanks, Leanne. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.